Democrats have associated themselves as of late, as of 2016, with the experts, with the establishment. Meanwhile, Republicans, because of Trump, are increasingly associated with populism, with the people, with anti-institutions, anti-experts. This is increasingly more important in the wake of COVID and all the lies we were told by elites in our country. And so young people who are dramatically, I think, more affected than any other generation with how poorly Bidenomics is going are saying, you know what, we just need to turn it all over. We need to go with something new. 65% of young people say they want a dramatic change in this next election. That doesn't necessarily mean for Trump, but they want a change. And so I think that this is why you're seeing young people say, you know what, we generally go for Democrats. They say that they're, the party that seems to own us. And, maybe they don't own us because things aren't working anymore for young people. And that's why you're seeing this major shift toward the unconventional. And in this case, that's Donald Trump.
This is
is this your mugshot?
Yeah, can you believe it?
You're a gangster.
This is what we're reduced to.
No way. No way.
Should we put them on now? Yeah.
That's
crazy.
That's amazing.
And it sells.
I maintain that Gen Z just wants a change, right? There's a very it's a consistent thread, right? The tearing down statues during 2020, these pro-Palestine protests, right? A lot of these young people, they don't know where Palestine is in a map, right? But they are willing to, protest and get angry because they know that the American dream that their parents had isn't going to be realized for them. And so they thought that that was maybe a Bernie, right? And many young people were really supportive of Bernie Sanders. And they're willing to, I think, embrace something different than the establishment. What's interesting about Logan Paul and that little exchange there with Trump is that I think it highlights how much of a sway Trump has with young men and the right has with young men in general. What's really carrying this shift toward the right with young people is young men. It's not young women. And I mean, it makes sense, right? They've been told their whole lives that their masculinity is toxic. If they're too loud in the classroom in middle school, they're put on Ritalin. Like, everything about their lives sucks because of the left. And so they are increasingly embracing the right, maybe in the manosphere, not necessarily in the conventional right like we might think of in the past. But Donald Trump is very much a part of this energized right that is attracting so many young men to our side, which is a really positive thing. Not positive for the dating world. I will say young men and women are increasingly going their separate ways, which is a big problem socially. But for the right and politically, it's actually a really positive sign. Yeah, exactly. And so that's part of it, right? The demonization of men and them just saying, you know what, we're sick of this. We're going to go in the complete opposite direction of whatever the left is presenting us because it makes sense, right? On just a normal level, right? Why would you want to associate yourself with the people that hate you? Of course, young men aren't associating with the left anymore. But on a deeper level, and I think this goes for many Gen Z men, and I think actually some Gen Z women as well, we have seen the fruits of leftism, right? Gen Z knows and actually is friends with people who have bought into the trans cult, who now are rendered infertile because they made a decision at 16 that they never should have been allowed to make in the first place. You're seeing young men, I guess, up close in the call and as they're trying to navigate the dating world and the way that women's minds have been completely warped, right? And it's almost impossible. They're navigating the world and seeing up close the cancerous fruits of leftism in a way that older generations really have not experienced. And so I think it's been really radicalizing for a lot of them in a really positive way. This is why you're seeing, it's like kind of when I talk about Catholicism, right? You can't be a lukewarm Catholic. Like, you have to be one or the other. And it goes for just Christianity in general. I think a lot of young people are seeing what the left does, what the right is presenting, and they're saying, you know what, I can't just be in the middle. I can't pretend to be, go along with these virtue signalings and the things that I have to say to, be accepted in woke society. They're saying, we're going to just go full traditionalism. That's why you're seeing a revitalization of Christianity as well among young people. If you go to churches, especially in Catholic, so you see Latin mass goers, many of them are young people. It's a movement in the complete opposite direction, a complete embrace of the traditions and the mores that we used to have as a country that older generations just are really not a part of. It's a movement that they're not a part of because they haven't seen leftism and the fruits of it up close like Gen Z has.